we go. I have no idea if he said that at all because it was so effing loud. I couldn't hear a damn thing other than the idiots around me yelling and screaming. But anyways, we are live from North Carolina, and I am back in my own country. Thank Jesus. I'm back in my own country for episode 44. Coffee Talk with Ryzak and Jeff. Oh, wait a minute. Why am I doing that? Hang on. Let's go back. Here we go. Ryzak with Ryzak and Jeff. What a day. How was your day, sir? Did you do anything exciting? Because I did nothing exciting.
I did not know. Mine was a very boring day of shopping and food prepping, and wondering what was going on with you, because you and I haven't talked very much at all this week. So we're throwing stuff against the wall and hoping it sticks here in a sense.
We have not had a production meeting, so when you guys know what the topics are, and I will know what the topics are because we've had zero discussion about. So no, I made it through the border, in and out. They're like, "Why you going?" I'm like, I'm going." And then the guy goes, "You coming back to everything to declare?" And I said, "Yeah, just my sadness."
Oh, we're going to talk about that.
He goes, "You bring anything back with you?" I said, "Yep, just sadness." Hey,
check it out. I'm on the screen twice.
Are you? Oh, you are on this because you got the one behind on. Yeah.
No. The names.
Oh yeah. It's because we had issues last week. Not issues. You were doing your thing.
It's all good. It's a good name. It's a good name. You can adopt it today. Oh, one of these days.
I can just do that. Okay.
One of these days.
Here we go.
Tired?
Awesome sauce. Yeah, I was up at the crack of dawn. I was up at 7, and then I was going to leave, but then my phone wasn't charged, and then I realized, why am I leaving so early? So I don't know. 9:30, 10. I left. I went to McDonald's. I got some breakfast. I think we're going to talk about that later, according to the thing I looked over.
Yeah, we're going to get deep into the day, Jeff. We're going to get deep into the day.
Oh, it's scary. It was a scary.
You had some gameplay throughout the week. I am sorry that I was not able to see you all Wednesday, but we had the soccer banquet. The slideshow was a success. So check. That'll work.
7 is.
Yeah, I know. I was thinking the same thing when he was saying that, Crow. Like, I've been up since 5.
Oh, you stupid thing. Hold on. At Storm Janak is having issues. Hold on.
Oh, Storm Janak. Oh, well, now that it's just me here, we are definitely going to talk about a few things today. I wish that the screen share was up there. Then I could just roll you through the topics, but it's not. So, does anybody have? Oh, hey, there's Jeff.
I have to close the door back there because I'm loud, and
that's all right. I was just saying,
Storm got stuck behind the door and she yells and screams.
Throw the notepad up there, and we'll just talk about these topics today, Jeff. Because a lot of what you'll probably want to talk about is going to come up in our second bit there. So we got some sports ball talk, and yes, there is NHL news. Why wouldn't there be? We're gonna talk about Jeff's Buffalo trip today. We're calling it a Buffalo trip because he went past Buffalo.
I did.
All right.
We
got a
Is that where Orchard Park is? Okay.
Yeah. All right. We got a cool post of the week, and got a few things to talk about in the Did You Hear About, and then I guess you're giving me 5 guesses. Oh my goodness.
You two playables, Ron Slush are coming. Oh, we are still them boys. You know why? Because we're going to the playoffs, Ron. Ron, we're going to the playoffs. Ron, we're going to the playoffs. That means we're still them boys. So all you people, David Lowenstein, who said we're not going to the playoffs, we're going to the playoffs. That's why we're still them boys.
All right. Mm-hmm. When are you going to become dem men?
Never. Never.
Oh, you know what we're not going to talk about, Jeff? We're not going to talk about my fantasy football team or fantasy football playoffs in general. I'm not going to talk about it. Two things. It's been a tough week for you, Jeff. It started off by learning that Shohei Ohtani. You like that segue? That was pretty good,
yeah,
right?
Yeah. He's not going to be making $700 million.
Yeah, well, I mean, he will, but we talked about it last week. Mega contract, Purple and I. What is it? The largest contract by like $300 million. And then we find out that he's really only going to make $2 million a year. He's getting $68 million each year deferred to the end of the contract. So he is now becoming the new
Bobby Bonilla.
Bobby Bonilla. Thank you for finishing that for me.
Well, was I supposed to
finish it up like a softball, and you crushed it.
Was I supposed to finish it?
Yes, you were. You crushed it. What do you think about this move?
By who? Him or the Dodgers?
Either or, because
it's move by the Dodgers, because that frees up more. That frees up space, and they can sign some more people. If your goal is to, isn't that the George Steinbrenner? I can't even talk. I'm so exhausted.
Steinbrenner.
Isn't that how he built championships in the 70s and 80s?
Yeah. Well, you gotta be smart in business, right? For him, it guarantees him money for a lot longer. Like, look, I'm not a professional athlete. I don't know what he has to pay for, what he doesn't have to pay for, but I would think that $2 million is enough to live on in 1 year. Maybe you're a person of minimal means, like you don't need a lot, you know. He gets everything gifted to him that he has anyway. So maybe $2 million's enough, and then when he's done with baseball, he'll be happy to have all that cash raking in. Yeah, right.
I don't think Crow could live on $2 million a year. That's like pittance.
I could absolutely not only live off of $2 million, but I could help other people live off of $2 million a year.
Could you though?
I think I could. Yeah, it'd probably be like my parents, right?
Could you though? Okay.
I think I could.
Right.
I mean, I'd have to live the same way that I do now, right? So just because you have $2 million in the year, are you going to change as the person? Probably. All right, Shohei Ohtani. What a great deal for him.
Yep. I guess the Blue Jays. I think the Blue Jays offered him $6.99. I believe. Yeah. I think they gave him. They were going to give him $6.99, and he went.
I passed you along a little article talking about some of the Blue Jay blunders. Don't know if you got a chance to read that one or not.
I did. It's one guy's opinion. We'll see.
One guy's opinion.
There's 162 games. It's I
wonder how many of them Shohei Ohtani will play in, because with him being in the National League now, he'll actually be able to be in the lineup as a pitcher, right? So every 5 days, or every how many days, they can throw him in the lineup as the pitcher.
Mm-hmm.
And then where's he going to play in the field other than that?
Don't know. We'll have to see how they work that out.
Hey, I am originally from the Northern Virginia area. If you've ever heard of Alexandria, Virginia, where George Washington's home is, and like Old Town Alexandria, just down the street from that. Up by the airport. What is it? National Airport now. There's an area called Potomac Yard, and it sits right on the Potomac River. And it's a growing shopping industry. They came in and really absorbed a lot of the older homes and land that were there to do what they've done with this like shopping experience. Ted Leonsis, who owns the Capitals and the Wizards, is now officially moving the team from downtown DC to this area, Potomac Yard, Virginia. Of course, DC is very upset about that.
Reach Stockman in the chat is a VA boy. So
VA, there you go. So, DC's obviously upset. It's going to take them a long time to recuperate from that. What are they going to do with that venue? What are they going to do with that space, right? Like, there's a lot of questions there.
Well, maybe they'll get rid of the football team too.
Hey, maybe. But this is huge for Northern Virginia. What concerns me is that this area is not the best designed for a lot of traffic. So there's going to be a heavy use of like rail system. It's going to make that already congested area feel so much more congested. It's one of the reasons why we left, because it's grown so much. It's not just like one city like Toronto. It's like a whole area. It's just so dense with people. So this is going to be interesting. Have you in your lifetime heard of owners picking up a team and moving them just across river?
Not across the river. People picked up teams and moved them. Most recently, St. Louis to
like cities,
LA.
like other cities, right?
Yeah.
Like there's still going to be the Washington Capitals and the Washington Wizards, right?
Yeah.
But they went from in the city to now being right outside.
Yeah, well, they're the New York Giants and New York Jets, and they play in New Jersey.
Yeah. There's always been a lot of talk over the years of making DC a state.
Brooklyn Nets, New Jersey.
The license plates say, what is it? Taxation without representation. Like they don't have a seat at the table. Right?
They don't. And your government controls the budget of DC, and so the DC mayor and police and stuff, they have to fight for every penny and all that kind of stuff. And again, why do I know that? West Wing. It's the only reason I know that.
Yeah, well, I mean, think about the revenue in taxes that they were getting from this arena and all the parking and everything else that was going on downtown whenever there was an event. So it's going to be a big blow to DC for sure. It's going to make it crazy.
They should get rid of the football team too.
They've already talked about.
They should just give up the franchise. Really, is really what should happen.
They've already talked about moving them to Virginia several times, even when Snyder still had the team. They were looking at Loudoun and Prince William County, both of areas I know very, very well.
Washington Commandos in Landover, says Reed.
So what's pretty crazy is that it's a good point, Reed. Landover, Maryland, is actually where the Capitol Center used to be. And then they built FedEx Field like across the highway from that. Then they tore down the Cap Center, and when they built what it started as, the MCI Center, I believe it started as downtown before it was the Verizon Center, and then whatever it is now. So yeah, a little history there. There you go.
There you go. Well, so the Commandos.
You never know what you're going to learn on Coffee Talk. It
is true. Virginia swears they don't want the Commandos. Does anybody want the Commandos?
Yeah.
So I heard a report that they seek permission to interview head coaches. They haven't got rid of the current head coach, but they're already interviewing for their next head coach. If that's not a total Commandos move, I don't know what is.
It's also a Patriots move, Jeff, because they've told Bill Belichick he's not coming back. This is big news.
Well, did they tell Bill? Did Bill just say, "I don't want to come back"? I think it was all mutual. I think it's all mutual at this point.
Probably so. A lot of the stuff I was reading that said after that Germany game, it was pretty much decided on the way home.
Yeah, I think Bill probably said, "You know what? I'm done."
Yeah, I mean, 23 years with that team, 8 Super Bowls, 65% winning percentage in the regular season, 71% in the playoffs. He was a career 331 and 174, 66%.
Hey, Raymond, didn't I tell you, I believe even when you were on that little sports nonsense, didn't I say we can't beat teams with winning records? Did I not say? How many things did I say that did they come true, Raymond? Didn't I say we couldn't stop the run either? Didn't I say that, Raymond? Didn't I say that, Raymond? You
did this. It's on you. That'd be funny. Third time's the charm.
Maybe.
Third time's the charm.
It's got that little race thing going.
I think
2026. Speaking of Bay Area, 2026, the Super Bowl. Ray will be there. Ray will be guest correspondent for us.
Ray's all up on the mouth right now.
He will be at that Super Bowl, whether his team is in or not, but they probably will be. So Ray will be there for us. He can tell us
Christian
all
McCaffrey healthy. He killed me today. Oh, we're not going to talk about fantasy. We're not going to talk
We're
about
not talking
fantasy.
about fantasy.
Not going to talk about fantasy.
Exactly.
There's a lot of rumors for old Bill Belichick, Jeff. We've talked about him before. What do you think? Do you think Carolina could be a possibility? Do you think Washington?
Hey, they won today. They won today. They're trying to screw the Bears in that first overall pick. Although the Bears, they still have a 1-game lead on that first overall pick.
That's funny.
They still have a 1-game lead. What was I going to say? I think he should take a year off. He did a pretty good job. Did you see him on game day morning? Not game day morning. On college game day when he was the guest picker. He's always
had some nice appearances on TV. He's stoic and he's just very to the point. He speaks factual, he speaks football. He doesn't fluff and nonsense stuff, right?
Mm-hmm. So I could see him not a regular gig, but I could see him coming in once or twice a year, definitely for maybe the playoffs, coming into Fox or CBS, joining the how they have that plethora of dum-dums at that talk before the games. So I
gotta be honest with you. I think he needs to step off of the field and just stay up in the booth or in the box. I think he just needs to be the GM.
So no, I think he needs to take a few years off from the grind. He's also 700 years old. Same with Pete Carroll.
It's hard to step away.
Just step away. Once you get to
Pete Carroll.
Once you get to a certain age, I think it's time to move on and let the kids take over.
We're talking about term limits for NFL head coaches.
Oh, not term limits. Age limits.
Age limits. Yeah.
Because again, if Sean McVay wants to do 25 years coaching, cool. But he started when he was 25, so it brings him to 50. Still good, but once you become old and senile and stuff, I don't think Bill's been in it since last year. I think since last year he was kind of going through the motions.
I think it was that year that Brady won the Super Bowl with. After that year, I think it was pretty evident that he lost. He lost that battle. Does it really show how good Brady was?
No.
You don't think so?
Nope.
I think there's something to be said for how good he was, especially with how long he played.
Bill, you're right. Bill needs to retire and just do some boost. Not even sign a deal with somebody. Just 1 week he shows up on CBS, 1 week he shows up on the ESPN. He goes to the Sun. I'd love to see him in the Thunderdome. I would love to see him. I would love to see him sitting beside McAfee in the Thunderdome. Will never happen, but I'd like to see it. That would be awesome. He did a great job on College Game Day, I have to tell you. So
nice.
So there you go.
Hey, you mentioned old Sean McDermott a little while ago. He is the coach of the Buffalo Bills, which is where you went today, Jeff.
I thought I said Sean McVay, but okay.
You drove all the way down to Highmark Stadium in Orchard Park, New York, about 15 minutes south of Buffalo. You had to cross the border into American territory. You had to drive down the what is the road there that you had to drive down the highway there?
The I-90 or I-190?
The I-90.
Or is it the I-190? I don't know.
190, 90, whatever it is, right down there to Orchard Park. You stopped at the McDonald's along the way, you said.
That was here. That was nice. That was at home.
Well, you set the tone for the trip, right? Mm-hmm. What was it like pulling into the stadium today and seeing all the Cowboys fans?
You know what? There was a large number.
I know there were.
There was a large number. There was a lot of Cowboy fans. There was a lot of Cowboy fans. Yeah.
All right, let's start on the outside. Any cool tailgating parties? Did you see anybody jump through a table?
I did not. I walked around, and any Cowboy people I saw, I stopped and chatted to them. Mm-hmm. There was really no one had really food ready yet as I was making my way around the parking lot. There was a family I thought of you guys because there was like a mother, a father, and a boy and a girl.
Sounds like us.
They were like junior Ryzaks. And the boy was like 10 and he had like a football and he wanted to play catch, but the dad was busy drinking and chatting. And so I said, here, throw me the ball. So I stood there for like 10 or 15 minutes. Eventually the dad put his beard down and walked over and the three of us played catch for a while. And then he picked up his beard and continued yapping to some other people. And then I wandered off. I wandered off and then I got in the line. The security line. I went through the security line and then I went and got food and a hot chocolate. And then I went and sat down at the.
You sent me a picture. You got to go down near the field and snap some photos. It looked like.
No, that was from my.
Oh well, then your seats were pretty daggone close.
That was from
like you were right down by the field.
That was from my. Let me do that. Is that going to work? Okay, let's do that there.
Ah, yes. Look at technology working out.
Look at that. Little Highmark Stadium.
Wow.
Wide shot.
Look at this.
Little closer shot.
Yeah.
And then some fat guy. Some fat guy at the stadium.
Is that a Dion jersey or is that Zeke? What is that?
That is Ezekiel Elliott.
Zeke, okay.
And look at that. Could have got me a Tim Hortons right there. Look at that. Tim Hortons proud. Loud and proud right there, baby.
Do you know, is that the only place that you can get Tim Hortons in America? No?
There's a number of places.
Is there? Okay. I've never seen one.
They're owned by Burger King now, so, you know.
Oh.
Here we go.
There it is.
Got it.
Hey, man, you're right at the field. I was like, you sent me a picture right at the field.
That is, I was sitting down. I may have stood up to take that. But
were you behind the Cowboys bench?
I was.
Nice.
I'm not sure what I was taking. What was that?
That's a good picture right there.
There it is. MVP right there.
Rain
to go to Prescott.
Was he doing his little hip shuffle?
Kickers are people too.
Kickers are people too.
Mm-hmm.
They gotta jog. They gotta get loose. How was the temperature outside?
Oh, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it was beautiful. The haters all kept saying it was going to be cold and snowy and yes, Jim Martin, there were a lot of empty seats 2 hours before game time. Yes, this was 2 hours before game time. There were a lot of empty seats 2 hours before game time. Hey, look at that stud. And then
so you said the weather started off beautiful, but it looks pretty crappy outside, Jeff.
Actually, it's not. It's beautiful. It wasn't raining at all during these pictures.
Well, but it started to rain.
Watch this kick. Boom, go Brian. The reason I took these pictures and videos because it wasn't raining. Here we go. Rookie of the year. Right here.
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the year right here is yet to miss a field goal.
1, 2, boom.
There's
the rain on the glasses.
That was more so you could see where I was. Actually, I ended up moving down because the two guys sitting beside me here were friends with the two guys, but there were 3 seats between them. So they wanted to shift over, and so we all shifted down. So I actually ended up more like the 47, 48. But I took that one just so you had people watching at home would be able to figure out where I was. And then there's some more kicking. There's the man.
There he is.
There's the man.
Dak Prescott, ready for a career game. He's
a lot of cheering when he came out. There's the defense.
Was everybody over by their tunnel? Like a big pack of fans by their tunnel?
There was a few. Yeah, there was a few. They both go in and out the same tunnel. They don't have their own tunnels.
I got you. Okay.
So there it is. There's the defensive player of the year right there. Right there. Defensive player of the year. And then, yeah. Here we go. That was the highlight. That was the best play of the game.
Best play of the game.
Too bad that wasn't in the game.
That's what I was gonna say. All of a sudden, the weather got pretty crappy, right?
So this is the weather guy. This guy came on at whatever time. So I guess it would have been 4:01 p.m. And he said so at 4 o'clock when I snapped this picture, it was 50. It was 50 of your degrees.
That's not that bad.
No.
It's not that bad at all.
No, it started to rain after that, and then it got shitty.
The rain starts to suck after a while. I've been in a few games where it's been torrential downpour, and there's like maybe 7,000 people
there
in
you
the
go, Jim. The game started. Now the game started. There's more people in the crowd.
Yeah. There you go, Jim. See, they like them. Pretty full. Cowboys are a big draw wherever they go. A lot of Cowboys fans in the world, or in the U.S. anyway.
That's all we got.
So the game was a bit sloppy. Didn't look very good. I did not watch the game, but I had alerts coming in on my phone. It looked like James Cook was going off there today. So you were telling me earlier it was a lot of outside runs.
I got to go back and watch the film. That's what it looked like. But as you saw how close I was, so again, I couldn't really see. It was hard to see, and then you kind of look up at the screen, and it's not like Jerry's World where the screen is so much. And so I got to go back and watch the film and see. But it looked like there was a lot of outside runs just from where. And then of course the camera thing was always in your way too, because as they were marching down, that camera thing, the little the rolly thing. Remember where they used to stick Booger McFarlane? Well, now they got two cameras up there, and that thing rolls back and forth in front of you.
Because it was the afternoon game on what, CBS?
Fox.
It was on Fox. Okay.
Yeah. The good news is I didn't have to listen to Greg Olson. So thank God for that. I did not have to listen to Greg Olson.
See, there's positives in it somewhere for you.
I did not have to listen to Greg Olson. So
let's take a peek back at these slides there, Jeff, if you don't mind, because there's a really, really nice picture here of Dak. This one you took halfway through the game. Way to not get any rain on your lens there. And then there's James Cook scoring. He had like 170 some yards today. The stats were not very nice in the passing columns, huh?
Well, everyone's yapping at me about Dak, and I responded with, give me one word answer. Who had more yards, Dak or Allen? And I guess if you throw 15 passes, you can't get the ball intercepted, although we almost did. When he had seven completions. I
mean, is it just a hat tip to the defense? Is it the weather?
It was mostly the weather. They just kept running the ball. So if we could have stopped the run, then it would have probably been a very close. It probably would have been like a 10-10 game or 13-10 game. But we couldn't stop the run, so why would they pass? They just kept running the ball. We couldn't stop them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So overall, are you glad you went?
Oh, gotcha.
Would you have changed anything about your seats?
Nope. I think that's pretty much where I sat the last few times I've been. It's always in sort of that section.
So like the TV camera thing, even though it's there, it's not enough to make you change where you sit.
Nope.
Did you get any autographs, Jeff?
No, nobody. Security doesn't let anybody come. Although Al Harris, who's our cornerbacks coach, he came over and was talking to all the fans along there, wanting them to scream and cheer and stuff and that. So Al Harris and Dan Quinn came over and he waved at us all and stuff like that.
So what was the coolest thing that happened? What, like something that you haven't seen before, something you picked up on, something you were looking for? Like what was the highlight of your day, Jeff?
Nope. Just being there, just going.
Just
going. Yeah.
The whole experience.
I'm not like you. I'm not like Ray. I'm not like Kevin. I'm not like, I don't know where Correzen lives, but I assume he lives. I'm not like you two playables, Ron Slusher. You guys all live within driving distance. Like you guys, it's a schlep for me to get there, right?
Yeah.
It's an hour and a half drive. Yes, I know Ray can say it's an hour and a half drive for me, but he doesn't have to leave the country. I have to literally leave my country to go to a game. Right?
Going through that customs portal isn't the smoothest thing.
It actually was pretty good. There was only when I asked Google in the morning how long the wait was, she showed me a graph. It was like about a 20-minute wait. And when I pulled up, there was 4 or 5 cars in front of me, and I don't even think it was 10 minutes.
It sucks when you have to say that a 20-minute wait's not bad for anything.
You know, and I don't even think I waited 10 minutes.
You should have just worn like the Canadian flag.
So the American guy wouldn't have cared. So you talk to the American guy, he wouldn't have cared. But you guys all live. You guys, like, I have to leave the country, so I have to make sure I have my passport, and I have to make sure I have this. And you guys can just, I
can get to the Hurricanes game in 15 minutes.
Yeah. See, you guys, if I lived as close as you guys did, I'd have season tickets, and I'd go every week. Why you guys don't have season tickets is beyond me. But
2 hours and 45 minutes for me to the Panthers stadium, but that's not my team. That's just the closest team to me, right? I'm not playing a team anymore.
You don't have to leave the country. I drive 2.5 hours.
I don't.
I drove 3 hours to be in a parade for an hour. So, driving for a football game.
You're a committed individual, Jeff.
Is really what I'm saying. Is I should be committed. So, I know Ray can argue that, and I've watched a video that where, Santa Clara isn't the easiest place to get to. So he can argue, but it's a lost argument because he lives that close to his favorite team. And, why you guys don't have season tickets is really beyond me. But, the hell do I know? I'm just a clown.
All right, last question. What was the fastest you drove on the way home?
Driving in upstate in the New York really sucked because the rain was coming down and their highways had no lights. Mm-hmm. So sometimes I didn't know what lane I was in. And then I was also trying to look at the GPS, look at the signs, trying to figure out where I was supposed to be. So a lot of times I was driving like the little old man, both hands on my wheel, trying to figure out where the frick I was going.
First.
And then, going really slow around some curves because I wasn't sure what, I'm looking at the GPS on my thing and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going. So it was a bit of a schlep to get me to the border. Once I hit the border, I was 120. I was 120 all the way home.
Nice, cool 120 all the way home.
Doing 120 all the way home. Because again, because I know we talked when I was driving home and there was like very little traffic there were lights in front of me, but we were all doing like 120 and
I remember driving up when we went to Niagara and we hit, I can't remember the highway that's right there that starts to take you over to Toronto, but next thing I know, people were just whizzing by me and I was going like 95, right? Like I wasn't paying attention to the kilometers per hour thing. Everybody was just rolling, so I had to flip the car over to kilometers per hour so I could see what it was. So it's interesting. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Does it feel like you're in a different spot? I told you that was the last question. This is the last question. Like you've been over to Buffalo area, America, whatever, so many times. Like, is it weird, like seeing the way things are here compared to you? Or are you just so used to it from all the times it doesn't really? Because like you have signage that's a little bit different than the signage that we have on our highways, right?
Yeah, and I don't really look at your signs because I don't. If you tell me something is 2.5 miles, I don't know how far that is.
Right.
But if my GPS tells me it's 5 kilometers, all right, I know how far that is.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So when my GPS says, "Oh, you need to exit here in 650 meters," oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
If it tells me it's a 1/4 mile, that means nothing to me, right?
Yeah.
That's why in Trucking Simulator I changed all my controls to metric so I can understand. Crow doesn't understand. I'm like, I'm doing 120. Crow's like, you're doing 120. So yeah. So
I always like the signs wherever we go. Seeing the different signs, seeing how different things are laid out or said. Like, when we went to London, everything's toilets, right? We call them restrooms. So it's just interesting to see other signs. So, all right, that was the last one I had.
There you go.
All right, Jeff, I know you saw this, came across this, and this is just like the coolest thing in the world. Yes.
Yeah, like Crow has never hit a sign. Like he's never hit a sign in his life in Trucking Simulator.
we are starting to see some ideas and some things take new shapes as we get into these later and later years. These Tesla robots are insane.
Mhm.
Do you keep up with robotics at all, Jeff? Is that like at least a side, like catches your eye kind of thing? Like there's been a lot of robot stuff for a while.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
what really I think struck me about this video and why I wanted to pull this up is in just a little bit you're going to see a scene where you can see the response of like the fingertips of the robot, and it absolutely blew my mind to think that something can be as gentle as it is. You can see it like moving its fingers right here. There's brand new hands, and then look at it pick up this egg, Jeff. Transfers the egg. Like, that is insane.
Mhm.
Look at all those Cybertrucks. Good advertisement for the Cybertruck there. So does this scare you at all?
Oh, I'm a technology guy. I like
if
this.
you just went into Canadian Tire and these robots were just given a jig and getting ready to check you out, wouldn't bother you at all, huh?
Well, I see, but there's restaurants. I don't think in Canada, but that have little robots that bring you
Yeah.
drinks. And I saw a video.
Belts and stuff.
Somebody was like a drone was delivering a drink to some. So
Yeah.
I don't think in my lifetime, because I'm old and I'm not going to live long. I don't think in my lifetime, but I think these will become like the Jetsons. I think in by the time your kids are old like me, I think they'll probably have a little robot in the house. Or we also thought in the 80s by now we'd have flying cars, and we don't have those yet either. So
I have a robot in the
maybe
house.
not.
It's a vacuum, but it's still a robot. Still thinks.
There you go.
It remaps itself every time it goes. So
Mhm.
I don't know. This is just it's kind of creepy to think that all these like sci-fi movies could be coming true before we know it, and then we'll have a whole Terminator type thing.
Well, that's where they're getting inspiration from, right?
Yeah. I mean, we've talked a lot about the AI and everything before too. So what's next? You take these and then voice patterns and things like that.
Well, they already have that right now. Google, my Google, whenever I put something in there, it pops up and it says, "Is it this person? Is it really this person too?" So Google already knows all my photos, and if I wanted to grab a picture of somebody, I click on it and I can see all the pictures. And
yeah, well, I mean, you'd be putting Google Assistant into this head, Siri into this head, Tesla's, AI into this head, and it would think and communicate for you and with you. And then, if I don't make a show, you'd have a co-host.
Nice. I like that.
See that?
I like that.
You could like digitally put my face on it and just have it talk like me. Now that's scary. Don't do that. All right. Tesla Optimus. This thing looks pretty cool. I think I'm going to put my name on the list for one. Something to help me with the yard work. All right, Jeff.
That would be awesome. Someone to mow the lawn, and that would be awesome.
Yeah, right. Did you hear about after more than 2 decades of E3?
I did hear.
Time to say goodbye, Jeff. What are you going to do without your E3 coverage? You went to E3, didn't you?
I did way back many moons ago. Yes.
Yeah. What was the highlight of the E3 you went to?
I don't even remember.
Was it like PlayStation days? Was it like Nintendo days?
I don't even remember. I went to a Comdex as well back when it was Comdex back.
Okay.
I knew somebody when I was in school.
I never went to anything like this. I always wanted to.
I went to a couple of things, but yeah, I don't even remember. I don't even remember. I don't even remember 8 years ago when I went to the last Bills game. So
yeah,
and it was before we had pictures and cameras, and so I couldn't. My unhealthy obsession of documenting everything. Couldn't even do that back in the day. But you know what? Oh, Crow remembers Comdex. Yeah, that's how it was. I don't even know what the hell it's called now.
You guys are two peas in a pod.
It was Comdex when I.
Oh.
So there you go.
There you go. I think that E3 was great for what it was for a long time. Obviously, the digital age has killed a lot of these things. We've talked about it before. I mean, when the news came out, especially after COVID, and I mean, it's there's a lot of questions around gathering and stuff. I mean, you've been out, you've gone to a couple of shows and things. You know how it goes up and it goes down.
Yeah, but in the olden days, technology wasn't where it is now. Everybody can do their own. Everybody can do their own little events, and they're in control of the events, and they get the views, and they get the stuff, and they can sell sponsorships, and they can do stuff. The world has changed, and now when these smaller companies want, did you notice at the Game Awards, a lot of the the sneak peeks and the previews weren't from the big major studios. It was all from the small to medium people. At least that's what I thought it looked like from looking in, right? Because again, the big places, your Nintendo's, your place, they're going to have their own big events where they can drive the traffic and control the narrative and do this and that. And then all the other, everyone else who can't afford to have a big, or they only have one game, they're going to then throw it at the Game Awards, right?
Yeah.
So the days are gone when you need a big, electronics exhibition to show off all your stuff, because you're going to want to do it yourself and get the views and get people coming to your website and get the traffic so you can sell the sponsorships and work with your advertisers and put all that, all that nonsense in, right? So there's
other events too. There's other gaming events. Getting tournaments and all the esports. I mean, there's other avenues to get in front of people like that. Mm-hmm. So it's not like they would never be able to run a booth again.
Yeah, exactly.
So just this event, but sayonara.
They can go to Linus's tech. Oh, that's right. He's not doing that in 2024.
Oh,
never mind. Never mind.
Hey Ray, here you go. Here's your guy.
Oh, here we go, Ray. Wake up, Ray.
Wake up, Ray. Curry, first NBA player to have 3,500 3-pointers made. Jeff, there's actually not anybody else that's over 3,000. So, he broke that record a long time ago, and he just continues to add to it.
He's going to be the first to 3, the first to 35, first to 4, first to 4,500, first to...
his accuracy doesn't look to really be slowing down either. So he's probably going to be shooting well for years to come. He's amazing. His release is amazing. Incredible. Here's one. We've talked about these before. This isn't such a big game anymore. Obviously, one of the reasons why it's shutting down, but just as a reminder to us all that, sometimes these things don't last forever, right? You don't own that game anymore. It sits on that server. And when they pull the plug, you don't got it. Now there's the Crew. There's the Crew 2. There's a bunch of different ones. People are still playing the newer ones, right? This is the first game, but no mas.
The PlayStation was under fire because recently, we didn't really talk about it, but they had some content that was owned by somebody else, and that you had access to, and that's going away at the end of the year. Again, proving that. I was listening to on Sirius XM. I was listening to one of the DJs, and he was talking. He had just did an interview with Wolfgang Van Halen, who's Eddie's son, and they talked very little Van Halen. They talked a lot. I didn't listen to the interview, so this was him recounting what they talked about. And then he has people call in. And somebody had called in about, and I don't remember the Van Halen album, but there's a Van Halen album that had limited quantities because Eddie didn't like it. Or no, David didn't like it. David didn't like it, and so it's not on any streaming service. It's only available on physical media. It's not available because David didn't like the production. He didn't like it for myriad of reasons. And so the DJ said, "This is why, folks, if there's an album or something that you really like, go buy the physical copy, because something could get removed off a streaming service and then you're screwed." Right? And that's kind of the point here. That if you like, some games, I have cabinets back here full of games that are no longer supported online, but I can still play them because I've got the physical media.
Yeah.
Right? Just because they're turning off the service, I wanted to play. I play games all the time that, oh look, there's an online mode. Well, that online mode does no longer exist. It's been shut down for decades, but I can still play the game, right?
And that's why, like, that Xbox One, that era, when maybe, I guess, it was Xbox One, where you would get the disc, but you would still have to load the game onto the box in order to play. So instead of coming home and like putting in the game and being able to play right away, you had to download updates. You had to load this game onto the Xbox, because I used to go to the midnight releases, right?
We all did.
And so it's rushing home. You want to pop that game in. I wanted to get on the Call of Duty, and boom, I have to sit there and load the game for an hour. So I think it was in that instance where I started to realize, like, you don't own anymore. Where you have a copy of Super Mario Brothers for Nintendo, you can go back and play that at any given time. Mm-hmm. You won't be able to go back and play The Crew on your gaming devices. So it's crazy. And I know it's one of the things that we all always used to talk about when it came to Stadia, and that argument that, oh, you don't own anything. Nobody else does either, right? So just sad to see things shut down. There's a lot of work that goes into these things, a lot of work that goes into setting it up so that it can stay running. So just sad. Another big game.
Kind of
not
truth.
It
might be Crow. It might be Crow. Different kind of truth. It could be. I can't remember. If it's not on the streaming services, then that is the one. But yes. So yes. What's online games really kill video preservation. You'll never be able to play this game again. True. But that's the point. If you want to play it, buy the physical copy. Then no one can take that game away from, unless it's online only, then you're screwed anyways. But if there's a single player offline mode, then off you go. Like this game, for example.
Yep. I know this is kind of older news now. It's probably been talked about a few times this week, but in the spirit of the console wars that everyone always seems to cry about, you don't really hear, at least in the things, I guess, that I follow, the algorithm, the way it comes from me, never really hear anybody crashing on PlayStation stuff like they do for some of the other platforms and games for those platforms. Everybody seems to be taking this. I went to the comment section. Oh yeah, do what you got to do. Take your time. Oh, I hope you come back. It's kind of pathetic in a sense to me.
PlayStation people are a different breed.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. But this is a pretty big deal. This is one of their biggest franchises, and this was something that I think was people looking forward to, and they're just not going to be able to live up to it. And you had sent this over here without getting too deep into it. At the bottom of it, they say that they've got some other adventures or other games that they're working on, right? Mm-hmm. And so they hope to be able to share that soon. So you're taking resources from one thing. We've talked about this before. You've shared, when you're not doing something here and you got to shift those funds. There we go. We're not going to do this anymore. We're just going to pull the plug on it. If it's not going to be what we want, we're just going to pull the plug on it.
But obviously they've run the numbers, and so nobody's playing it. I think somebody with the crew looked at it and there were like 15 people playing it, right? And they know how many concurrent users. They know how much it's costing them. And if nobody's playing it, then people go, oh, we can't do this. Well, but how many people were playing it? I didn't even know there was an online version of The Last of Us.
Well, it was in development. It was in development. So they're just pulling the plug on it before it's even going to go live. Like they really wanted to do it, but it's just not lining up with what they want to do. So before they drag the good name of the franchise, through the mud, they're just not even going to do it. So good on them to, I guess, know when to pull the plug. But this doesn't necessarily mean that it's over. You put a pin in it. In the room in the back, and then one day when you're looking for inspiration, you go back there and you say, oh, remember that TLU online thing that we wanted to do? We should try that venture again.
Yeah, probably not.
Jeff, I want to take you back to basketball. I sent you this week. Pacers and the Bucks, they played each other this week. Giannis scored 55, I think. Career high 55 points. He wanted the ball after the game. Assistant coach, I guess, tells him that the Pacers took it back to the locker room. He goes running back there with his coach, like pulling on his arm, like trying to keep him out of the back, causes a big scene, goes in the back. He goes in the locker room. He's asking for the ball. They're like, man, get out of here. We don't have no ball. Somebody's like, man, just give him the ball. Like all this stuff is going on, right? It says that Buck security was able to retrieve the ball for Giannis on this tweet here. But what actually happened, looking at the video, is that an assistant coach actually got it at the end of the game and had it. And so Giannis went back in the back looking for this ball, and they actually already had the ball. So a whole lot of commotion. But what I wanted to ask you about this is...
Didn't I see a video of him at home with the ball or something too the next day or later?
Yeah.
He sitting at home.
He had the ball. He had the ball. Do regular season, like, okay, I guess this is a career high in points, right? Does that warrant keeping a ball? I guess it would, right? You score 55, you want the ball that you scored 55 with, but it wasn't like record breaking. It's just career high, right? Do you think that warrants keeping the ball career high points?
They keep balls for everything. They keep souvenirs for everything.
If Dak threw 8 touchdowns in a game, would he keep the 8th one or all 8?
Probably all 8.
All 8?
Mm-hmm.
Would they have had all 8 pulled off after each touchdown? That's the question, I guess.
Probably.
Whoever didn't tell this man that they had the ball, that person should be ashamed of themselves because they gave him.
There's a lot of shit that goes on at the end of a game, and there are a lot of people running around, and there's a lot of staffers that are just trying to pack the thing up, so yeah, shit like that happens.
You are nailing the segues because packing it up sounds like exactly what they're doing to Al Michaels, Jeff. Al Michaels is not going to be covering the NFL playoffs for the first time in like 50 years. I don't know what the number is. Just threw that out there, right out of my rear. He's been having a lot of questions raised about him this year, whether he's losing his touch or whether he's opening his mouth about things he shouldn't.
my sports producer made a good point. You keep giving him shitty games to call, and then you're upset when he's like bored because you're giving him these shitty games to call.
Those Thursday night games are not fun.
Stop giving him shitty games to call.
He was getting a lot of money to do it, though.
I'm sorry. Like, how can you be upbeat and all excited when it's the Raiders versus whatever piece of crap team?
Oh, the Raiders destroyed the Chargers on Thursday night. It wasn't even a game. It was disgusting.
So,
somebody called 911 on that one.
How can anybody be up and excited about that game? Like.
Oakland fans were very excited about that game.
It's not like it was
Kevin probably had a great
Buffalo
time.
and Kansas City where there was big drama at the end. It wasn't like, so
Maybe.
like like
Maybe.
take some credit away from the dude. Like, you're giving him shitty games, and then you're expecting him to be all upbeat and him to be excited about these crappy games that are just a shit fest, right? So,
well, again, killing it with the segues. You talked about crappy games, and a lot of people have said this one's going to be one. You got to play it the other day.
I did.
What did you think about Skull and Bones?
So, a lot of us got to play the closed beta. I was watching some YouTube guy, and he's like, I got to play the secret closed beta. I was one of the handful of people. They were giving secret codes away.
Big ass hands.
They were giving this away to anybody that wanted it. Like, it was no secret, dude. Like, you were not one of the handful. It was like, you get a code, and you get a code, and you get a code, and you get a code.
Every Twitch advertisement, every YouTube advertisement, every Ubisoft advertisement had links to get keys. Like, it wasn't secret.
It was not a secret, and it was not, you were not special, my friend, my YouTube friend. I'm glad Crow's here. Crow has a different opinion. You know what? I liked it. It was okay. It was fun. If you like those grindy kind of games, my son plays all of the Assassin's Creeds. He played the Star Wars. He's doing the other Star Wars now. He likes those, grindy, level them up, kind of, single player. Now, this one has multiplayer, so you could team up with your friends. So, you know what? If you like that style, that kind of game, then it's going to, I think it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good. It played pretty good. I don't know. The last half hour, it was making some weird sound. I don't know what the hell that was. It was probably something on my end, not the game. Because once I exited the game, the sound went away, so no, it wasn't me. Nice. So, it looked nice, it played nice. Yeah, you had the, okay, so you had your little ship, and then you go and you got to go and collect some stuff, and then you make a new ship, and then you have to go and collect some other stuff, and just same old. And that's your kind of, it's not, it's not my kind of thing. I like playing. I like playing multiplayer games where we all can jump in together, Sons of the Forest, trucking, whatever, those kind of things. Ray says he's excited for it now. There you go. If you've got a group to play with, or you just like grinding through, there's a lot of people that just like Willie Lowe. Willie Lowe's not here, but he said he likes those. I said, this is kind of your game. It's you're like a grindy game kind of guy. He's like, I kind of am. So I could see Willie Lowe diving right in with both feet and streaming this and playing it and, doing a 6-hour stream and just hitting the highlights and doing whatever. I don't have that much time to put together, I'm just a limited gamer. And if you don't game at least 2,000 hours in a year, can you really call yourself a gamer? That is the ultimate question.
I would never be able to game that much in a year.
Crow says, I don't mind the grind. It's the linear quest chains. Again,
Crow, I ask a favor of you. I want you to do your magical research, and I want you to look into this game, Once Human, that I was telling you about. I can't put it down now, and I've probably opened my computer to like a very dark area that I'm never going to get back from by some of the stuff that I had to do to get the game, which might not be sketchy to some, but when I can't read the language that it's in, it's scary to me. Because I don't know what it says, right? I don't know what I'm agreeing to, but I've been playing Once Human, and it is phenomenal. It is such a deep beta.
It's not spyware.
I don't know. Like, I didn't see anything. It's got positive reviews. Like, there's a lot of people in the game right now. It is awesome. So I would ask you to check it out, because there's crafting, there's building, there's questing. You can link up in parties. You can do it together. Everybody's building next to each other, like kind of Ark style. There's PvE, there's PvP. You can upgrade your weapons, upgrade your guns. You have an arcade machine that you unlock eventually in your place. Like, people are building
Nice.
defense bases with like turrets and stuff. Like it's crazy. And it's just a beta. So definitely any of you that sounds like an interesting game, a grindy kind of game. You got to chop down trees. You got to do that stuff. But it's a very quick system. You don't have to watch the tree fall and then chop up the tree again. Once you knock the tree, you get the wood, and then the tree grows back in like 3 minutes. I mean, it's not fast at all. It's not a fast respawn. Or I mean, it is a fast respawn. So once human. If you haven't played that, I highly recommend trying it. If you're okay with Netgear Games is who you download it through. I was asking you earlier if you had heard of them. I've seen them in mobile games a lot. Netgear Games. A lot of those sports.
Didn't they make
like
modems
the All-Stars
or
games?
Didn't they make routers or something? Netgear didn't they make routers back in the day?
I think it's Is it Netgear Games? I think it's Netgear Games. It's red letters. I think it's Netgear Games.
You can't even get the game on Steam. Would love to hear how you got it. Oh, do they have
You
their own? You have to go to. They have their own.
You have to go to their. Well, you go to their website and you have to ask for a key, and then they send you a key.
Oh.
So
and then what?
It's right. Steam? It's right on the website.
Then a Steam key.
You download it from them.
Oh, they have their own stupid installer.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
That's why I said
I may tap out.
Netgear still makes routers, Jeff.
Do they? Okay. That's what I thought.
Good pull.
Oh, you said Netgear Games. I'm like, don't they make routers? Now they're making games.
That's funny. That is good. All right, sir. You ready?
I am.
I'm glad you made it back, Jeff. I'm gonna be honest. I had a little conversation with myself this afternoon. I was like, I don't want to bother Jeff. I don't want to like send him a bunch of messages. I know what it's like trying to use your phone in the stadium sometimes with all those other people that are trying to use their phones too. Like you got the game going on, you're using your phone as a camera, maybe there's just a lot going on. So I didn't want to bother you. I had full faith that you were either going to show up or you were going to be here or whatever, but I just wanted to make sure that we were prepared just in case. And next thing I know, you're driving 120 down the highway and you're calling me and you're like, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 30 minutes. I'm like, good Lord, man. Like you are flying. So kudos to you.
Whenever I message you,
not missing the start of the show.
When did I message you and say, send me the link? Just because
that's like 7:15. Yeah.
Yeah. I think I got to the car. I think the game was over. I got to the car and I sent you the message to say, send me the link. That way I knew I would have it. And as soon as I hit Canada, I would be able to click on it and be there. So
yeah, no, it was impressive. So I would have tried to wing it if it worked out differently, but didn't have to. So good job. It sounds good. I got to do 5 guesses with Purple Haze last week.
That was awesome.
Big shout out to Purple Haze for coming on and being my guest and talking a little basketball. We spent a majority of our time talking about basketball. Her 5 guesses were centered around basketball. So it was pretty good. But you've got one for me this week. Hand orange covering. Yeah. Wow, what's up, Rube?
You want to do your intro? Did you say it already?
I absolutely can. Absolutely. All right. So it's now time for 5 guesses. And you are giving me the guesses this week.
I am.
All right.
You have previously said you're a bit of a you're a bit of a geography nerd. You like the geographies. You also said he goes, do you have 5 questions for me? Because it's your turn. I'm like, I got 5 questions up the wazoo. I could do 5 questions. Even when I was on Purple Show, I'm like, I have 5 guesses if you want to do it. She's like, okay, let's do it. Yeah. I have 5 guesses.
You came prepared.
I have 5 guesses. I have so many 5 guesses. All right. I'm gonna crop it up over there. Name these 7 countries that begin with the letter U. One of them will be tricky.
7 countries with the letter U.
I'll take 5. I'll take 5 of the 7.
Wow.
Because one of them is tricky.
All right. So United States of America.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Ukraine.
That's 2.
Okay. Uruguay.
Okay. That's 3.
Uganda.
Nice. That's 4.
Uzbekistan.
That is the one I thought would be hard. That was the one I went, he's not going to get Uzbekistan. That's why I said one of them would be hard. All right. One more. You got one. You can't get this one.
Huh? I know it's going to be something that you're going to be like, what the hell?
You got Uzbekistan, but you didn't get this one.
Yugoslavia.
That starts with a Y.
No, that's a Y. Yeah. Damn. It's an idiot move. Why am I drawing a complete blank, Jeff?
Beats me, considering you've been there this year. Where have you been this year?
England?
Or also known as
the UK? United
Kingdom?
Oh, I guess I wasn't thinking about it that way. Okay. Heck yeah!
You're like, where have I been? Where have I been this year?
Nice. Uzbekistan was a nice one.
That what I did not. That's why I said there was one that you may not get, because when I looked at the list, I was like,
I may not be the best at trivia, but sometimes like that Trivial Pursuit game comes in handy. You know what I mean?
I'm like, you shocked me. I did not think you were going to get.
It's a great compliment to get. Shock somebody.
That's why I said, just give me 5. Just give me 5, because I figured you could bang out 5 really easy. Right?
Oh man.
Considering, you live in one, you've been to the other. So I figured those were your 2 top choices. Right?
No. I mean, I feel like I hear more about the Ukraine here these days than anything else.
Oh wait, I think I lied. I think
there was one more, right?
There is one more.
Yeah, that was only 6.
That was only 6. There is one more.
I'm not gonna get it. You want to see if the chat can get it?
All right.
So we got Uganda. We got
Crow already got it.
Crow got it already.
Crow already got it.
What is it?
The United Arab Emirates.
That
one I actually thought you would have gotten. Dubai. I thought you would have gotten that one. That one, but Uzbekistan. That's why I also said 5, because just in case you didn't get the UAE.
Uzbekistan.
That one I did. When I looked at that, did not know he was going to get that. Look at that.
That was good. That was good.
That was easy. You nailed that one. That was your best.
I feel pretty good. Yeah.
That was your best one. Yeah, Crow nailed the USA, UAE, UK. Yeah. Although Crow didn't say Uzbekistan, so I don't know if Crow knows the Uzbekistan, although he's probably been there. He's probably like, of course I know that, Jeff. I've been to Uzbekistan.
Oh, the man of mystery. The man of mystery that is Crow Resin.
I do have to admit, that part of the world does confuse me.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stands over there I just don't get.
What's the farthest west or farthest east you've been, Jeff?
When I was 19, I did a little 2-week tour of Europe. So we flew to France. Then we went on our way to Amsterdam. We spent an hour in Belgium. We basically walked out the train station, walked around the block, and then went back in the train station. Can't remember why we got off in Belgium. Probably had to switch trains, I guess. I don't know. Then from there, we went to Berlin, maybe Rotterdam. In my office over there, I actually have a sign that I stole from one of the trains. Then we ended up in we went to, and then we ended up in Barcelona, and because he's an architect major like Ricky, and we had to go see that stupid church. Ricky would know the stupid church.
Oh,
the Gaudy Church, whatever the hell it's called. Ricky would know.
England is the farthest away that I've been. So this
If
trip
you've been to a Soviet country, you've been to them all. They all look the same.
I do want to go to Amsterdam. I do want to go to Germany. I do want to do like that whole Central Europe, north to south trip. I've heard it's a fairly accommodating trip with the trains, and there's just a lot of ways to get around. It's pretty quick, an hour here, 2 hours there. So I think that would be fun. When you went on that trip, I mean, it was probably a lot different then, and you guys probably were doing either touristy things or you weren't because you were students on a trip. But that's cool. I
called home collect, folks. That's how you used to do it back in the day. You would call home collect
or jail.
And the operator, she goes, "There's a collect call from your son."
Yeah, because you got to record it.
Yeah, no, you talked to there was a human.
Oh, the operator. Yeah,
there was a human,
and then you could record it when it was 1-800-collect.
And my mother answered, and she goes, "I don't have a son named Jeffrey," and she hung up on the phone. And the operator's like, I said, "Try again. Let's see if Daddy answers." So she called back, and Daddy answered and accepted the charge from wherever I was calling from. Because she did not want me to. She did not want me to
your mom say that.
She did not want me to go, and she was angry at me that I did go. And that was 1989, and we sat near the front of the hostility class because the back of hostility class is where the smokers were, and we didn't smoke, so we sat up to the front. Not the business class, but the front of hostility
class doesn't sound very nice.
Isn't that what it's called?
I mean, I'm just maybe
not. When you flew to England, what was on your ticket? Is not what it says? Hostility class.
It says coach.
Oh, does it? No.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, whatever.
I mean, like, hostility sounds like such a harsh word for a Canadian.
So anyways, so I went with my buddy Kendall, who he studied to be, I guess he is an architect now. Nice. So, and we had to go and we had to walk around that stupid unfinished broken church, which I think is still unfinished. I don't know. I
want to go to Rome because now you can go down in the underneath, and I think that would be really cool because of the Colosseum. I mean, so
what's under there?
That's on the bucket list. I don't know when I'll get there. Probably be older than I'm going to want to do it.
Soon. Kids will be gone soon.
Yeah, but I think we all know how that goes, Jeff. They're going to need help. They're going to struggle through some things before they get on their feet. So just because the kids are out of the house doesn't mean that, you can be careless.
They'll be back.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it.
They'll be back.
Kids, man.
They'll be back.
I like having them around. They make it more entertaining. Just say that.
So the next 2 weeks we still have shows because just because it's a pagan holiday does not mean the show must not stop.
Yep.
And I will be here with probably guest host Ann Rosenfield again. Woo-hoo! Because as a good Jewish lady, Monday to her is just Monday.
You guys should run down all of the different holidays and explain what all of them are.
No, that'd be awesome. We were on a Zoom call last week when it was the first night of Hanukkah. So she lit her candle, she did her thing, and then she took it and put it in the bathtub. Lit the candle and put it in the bathtub because she had a bit of a Hanukkah accident a few years ago. We'll get her to tell that story. But yeah, that putting candles in the bathtub is an old trick my grandmother used to do because she used to light the candles for Christmas and stuff, and then she'd go put them in the. I guess they tipped over and stuff. Of course, she lived in an old wooden house back in the day, so things went in the bathtub. So you set the house on.
Interesting, I didn't know that.
That's what you do. If you have candles, put them in the bathtub.
Nice.
Then you don't burn down your house.
We went out and did a little Christmas light searching, me and my wife, this past week.
Cool.
Not as many Christmas lights up this year. It feels like not as many people getting into the festivities. So I think it speaks to the times too.
Doesn't the local paper publish? Or is there some websites?
I mean, yeah, there's Facebook groups and stuff. Like we went to one that she knew about that like they literally have lights strung from the trees to the house. I mean, there's lights everywhere. But when we went by, it wasn't on. You can see all the lights, you can see all the blow-ups, but they were all deflated, like nothing was on. So, and they could have been out for the night or whatever. It's just the night that we chose. But yeah, just there were some really, really good ones. There were some just throwing up lights to throw up lights, and then a lot of dark houses. So
that's a shame.
Kind of sad. Yeah, as you talk about times changing, Christmas is changing in a sense too. It's becoming less about the giving and the family and stuff like that, and more of an opportunity to just get a list of things that you want to keep up with everybody else. So I don't know. We should bring back holiday cheer, Jeff. So Merry Grinchmas.
I like it.
Because I am feeling very Grinchy this year.
Are you?
As I talk about bringing back my cheer.
You saw the picture I shared on social media yesterday with me and Santa.
I did.
It was funny. I was
you're a good little elf.
I was walking down the street and there was a light. I got to a corner and there was a light, and there was these little girls, and she looked and she went, "Hey, look, it's the Grinch." And then they looked and went, "Look, there's Santa versus the Grinch," and he's pointing at me and I'm pointing at him. So then I went in.
Spider-Man meme.
I went into the little I went into the restaurant where they were, and he came over and we chit-chatted, and he said, "Let's take some pictures." I'm like, "All right, let's go."
Nice.
So that's one of the ones I sent you yesterday. So,
that's excellent.
Yeah.
Monday, you playing Monday?
Looks like I think I got to confirm with Ray and SPG, but I think we're gonna try the Christmas Call to Arms in the Red Dead. I thought it's gonna be that or Wednesday. It's gotta be this week because everyone's gonna bugger off for the pagan holidays and not be around to play. So it's either gonna be Monday or Wednesday. So if it ends up being Wednesday, I know Ray is a little busy with the thing, and I know he said he might be able to make it happen. So it'll be Monday or Wednesday. We're gonna do the Red Dead Call to Arms, the Christmas Call to Arms. Oh, look at SPG! Look at that, SPG right here, right on cue. Look at that.
All right. Well,
Ray says he's down to play Monday. I know he has a bit of an issue with Wednesdays and Evan and the
Yeah. No, you're not going to see me for a few weeks here.
It's all good.
As the dates line up with the holidays this year, the Sundays. So you guys enjoy whatever you get into. If you get into something different Monday, I'm around. Wednesday, I'm not around, but I'll see you guys. It was nice jumping in, and you and Crow were in there talking the other day, and I was like, I need help. Do you know how to do this? What does this mean? I just took a chance and checked, and you guys were both in there. So
there you go. SPG, can you do a Christmas call to Arms tomorrow night at 7 p.m. your time? Hope so. I know Crow's going to be late, but so we can only do one call to arms anyways. So we'll run a couple of other missions. We'll do some bounties or something until Crow gets back, and then we'll do the call to arms and call it a day. But
I like it.
If SPG can join us, that would be awesome. Okay. For that, and then Wednesday probably. I think it might be time to drive the trucks.
All right.
Might be time to drive the trucks again. But
he said yes.
Oh, he says yes, sir. All right. He says yes, sir. He says hopes you two fantastic hosts with the most have a fantastic Christmas.
Hosts with the most.
You had to finish it off on
with the most holiday cheer with my Merry Grinchmas sweater on.
Mm-hmm. I have. You saw I have Christmas. Well, they're actually track pants.
Grinch on.
They're actually track pants. Everyone kept calling. They go, I like your Grinch PJs. They're actually just track pants, which I guess are just people sleep in pajamas. I guess you could say track pants or pajamas, but so you should get a pair of those.
Well, I'm a sweats kind of guy.
So you should get Grinch.
Yep. I'm a sweats kind of guy.
I did see at the store. Do you want me to send you the Grinch boxers? Do you have Grinch boxers? Again, It's pandemic, so who wears underwear? I understand that.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if we should share that information, Jeff. You might not like what you find.
Well, everyone knows it's a pandemic. We don't wear underwear anymore. We all know that. So,
I don't need to wash extra clothing.
exactly.
The
guy sitting next to me, mind you, he was really drunk because most of the third and fourth quarter, he was sitting down with his head down. He asked me at one point, he goes, "Do you sleep with socks on?" I'm like, "What?" And I said, "Well, A, who does?" And I went, "B, who sleeps with clothes on anyways?" And he goes, "I was trying to tell them." And I said, "Dude, you need new friends."
I think I've asked you this question before.
You need new friends.
Do you put socks on before you put on pants, or do you put on pants before you put on socks?
I can't answer that question.
It's a little too personal, isn't it?
I don't wear socks. I don't wear socks, so I can't answer that question. If you really want to know, I put warm socks on, which I didn't need. Then I put my Ezekiel Elliott socks on. Then I put my jeans on for the game.
Jeez, Jeff.
So
and it brought you no luck.
And I tucked, because I had to tuck the Zeke socks over top of the long johns that I was wearing, which turns out I did not need. I actually thought by 6:30, 7 o'clock, I thought if it's raining and it might have actually dipped below, but it didn't. So only
Dak might become the first $60 million quarterback. I think you need to upgrade your Zeke stuff to Dak stuff, and that might be the ticket. Thong, pants, socks. Probably not in that order either. Probably pants, thong, socks.
Hold on a second. Hold that thought. Hold on.
Uh-oh. Yeah. He definitely puts the thong on over the pants, Ray. For sure. That's what I'm thinking. Hey, so seriously, once human. All right. If you decide to download it, let me know. We'll run through it. I'll start a new one. It's pretty fun. It is pretty fun. Takes a lot of games that you're already playing and puts them together. The story is really weird. But once you get once you get going in the game, the story doesn't really matter anymore. Dude, look, if he comes back in with the banana hammock, I'm out. Okay, I will totally leave this stream. Next thing you know, he's going to have the Jeffy cam, which is his phone, in the hot tub with him. His toes are going to be up, just jiggling.
I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh, there he is. All right, he's back.
Headphone. Ray is lucky.
Oh, he is back.
I cannot find them. But I do have.
No, the next one. Ace Ventura style.
From what I'm told, some people don't even wear underwear. Well,
it's true.
So,
that visual. Why'd you have to give me that visual? Oh man.
But I don't know where they are. Like, I don't know. The whole behind me is a shit show. But what I was going to show you, I was going to show the crowd. I was going to show the crowd.
It's blank. It's too bright. It's not coming through.
Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it, folks? Sucks, doesn't it? Oh well.
It does.
But you know what? Where there's a will, there's a way. I don't know why I couldn't find them. I don't know why I couldn't find them. Mostly because there's a shit show behind me. But
could be.
Shit show behind me. Let me put that there. Let me put that. Let me close that. So, yeah. But yeah, we'll be back next week. We will be back. I will be back next week. I understand.
You will be back next week.
I will
that
be.
That is a fact.
I will be.
I'll be somewhere next week.
Is that a picture of your soul, Jeff? It was pretty bright. But yeah. But we are gonna say goodbye, Ryzak. We'll see you guys.
Oh, you didn't click it. I thought you were gonna click. You're not even gonna